Welcome everybody back to Life Barbells and BS. I am very excited about today. We have another, not only special guest, but probably one of the most interesting people I've met in a while. Anvar Mansurov. I pronounced that right?
Yes, sir.
He wants. I think most people call you Mans. That's
Yes,
kind of the short. That's the nickname.
that's a nickname.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
for coming.
Chris. And I appreciate you and your beautiful wife, Alan, for having me. It's such a great honor. Thank you. And I told you that before. I remember. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And I absolutely believe that, and that's really why you're here. Already we're 30 seconds in, and you can probably already tell just the humility that this guy has. A funny story. What sparked my interest. One of the things we saw is when we started doing this podcast, you started following us immediately. He not only follows, he interacts with everything that we do. There's not a time I can't go to my phone and Mans has liked or loved every post we do. He even came up to me in the gym and thanked me. Hey, appreciate you doing the podcast. I'm learning a lot. Very few people do that, and when you're starting something like this, it means a lot when you get some positive feedback. But one of the things the first thing that stuck out. So when you started following us on social media, I went to your social media, followed back, and one of the very first videos I saw. So just a brief background for me. I've been an athlete my whole life, baseball, basketball, football, everything. But I started with martial arts probably in the early 90s.
Hmm.
Taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, those kinds of things. And of course, everybody likes to say, I'm a black belt. Yeah, who cares? Nobody, nobody cares about your black belt. At least experienced people. It's
Yeah.
an accomplishment. It's not nothing to take away from it. But the reason I say that is because when you're at the gym every day, you see several people on the heavy bag, and you see guys that are kind of posturing and pretending to be Mike Tyson, and you can tell the ones that have a background that are proficient in what they're doing, and then you can tell the guys that are just playing around,
Just
getting
playing around.
exercise, and
Correct.
perfectly fine. But the video I saw of you, my first reaction was that is a dangerous human being. That's the first. I just sat there and watched. I'm like, oh, that yeah. I've said for the longest time, your toughest guys are never the loudest guys. Your toughest guys are always the quiet ones. And when it comes to being quiet, again, the humility that you exhibit on a daily basis, the respect. When Mans approaches you and he shakes your hand, he not only looks you in the eye, but there's this sense of respect and honor that he brings, which is very rare in this day and age. So there's that, and we'll get a little bit into the MMA background and some other really interesting things like arm wrestling and things like that. But Mans immigrated from Tajikistan.
Correct.
If I pronounced that right,
Yeah,
close
you
enough.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 2007
Yep.
to New York City.
Yes, sir.
All right, and we were just talking prior to starting that there were odd jobs like driving a yellow cab in New York City, which I'm
Yes,
sure
sir.
is an adventure all in itself.
Yes, sir.
But eventually went to work for the New York City Police Department.
Yes, sir.
Before we go too much into that, I want to go back to Tajikistan. So a little geography, I think Man's helped me with this. So you've got Afghanistan to the south,
Yes.
you've got China to the east.
No, I think Afghanistan north.
Afghanistan is north.
North. Yeah, it's
Okay,
up
all right. And China would be to the east.
to the east.
I got
Correct.
you.
Yes.
All right.
So
But Pakistan, Uzbekistan,
then
all of those
all
stands are
stands
all
are there.
right. They're all around there. So prior to 2007, give us because I did a little reading, not a
Hmm.
whole lot, but like in 2001, there was a famine that was declared in that country. A lot of aid had to come from. So, what's life like? Um,
Okay, yeah, in Tajikistan, basically it's a small country. When I left, the I believe population was around like 9-10 million. So it's kind of right now maybe it's 12. But the real fact about Tajikistan is it's 93% is mountain country. Only 7% is ground. So basically, most of people live on the ground.
mm,
But there are people who lives in the mountains, and very few. Like even if you go, like you see very small like village or houses, and there are like people, and they don't have like electricity stuff like that. Maybe now they might have. I don't
mm,
know, but yeah, but and they're happy too. Like they live there, and this is their lifestyle. They already get used to it, and
sure.
stuff like that. And a city itself, right now, I haven't been there since 2011, so it's been a while. And but I have siblings and other friends, like my parents. They live here, but when I got here, I made promise like I want to bring all of them here, which I did. Thank God, like everything happened, and now my parents are here, so they go back, they come back, so stuff like my siblings are here, my brother is with me, stuff like that, and my sisters are with me. So not here, I'm just saying, just in general, like here they in New York City, stuff like that, and but we're closer. And uh, but other than that, it's like basically it's mostly like modernized. It's not like it's more modernized because we used to be in the Soviet Union
Hmm.
country, so we have taken from them a lot, like mostly like clothes wise, like people like
Kind of
basically
like culture,
culture
yeah,
culture
right.
wise, and but their religion itself, it's a Muslim country,
Mm.
so
It was
it's
about
like
97%. Yeah,
95, 97
yeah.
is a Muslim country, and very how to say this, guest like we like guests. Like for example, if you go with me to Tajikistan, I will not allow you to stay in a hotel or pay
Mm.
for their food, stuff like that. It's unacceptable for me,
Right.
so it's not gonna happen.
Gotcha.
So you go there and you just enjoy it.
Right. Right.
Nothing. You don't pay for the ride or anything like that.
Hmm.
You just get there, stuff like that. And I know it's not only in Tajikistan; it's in Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. All these countries, they we basically share the almost the same culture,
It's kind of
stuff
a
like that.
culture. The first thing that comes to my mind is a culture of honor. When
Kinda,
you have
yeah, like
guests, you honor your guests.
yeah, you
Yeah,
you have to it,
yeah.
and you can't even step those boundaries. Like it's right there, and you have to. It's in autopilot. Like
Mm.
you can't even question yourself. There is no way you can say like, should I do this? No, that's absolutely, and I think it's a great thing.
Right.
And uh,
So you
well,
get to New York City.
yes.
I'm thinking through. So, the only thing that somebody like me who was born and raised in the United States and my perspective, because we all have a different worldview,
Mm-hmm.
right? Our worldview in the United States is pretty much shaped by media. The media tells us it's not always accurate. I mean,
It's not.
so I'm looking at somebody coming from another country, and it doesn't matter what country it is, because we were talking before. I have three
Yep.
clients, all immigrants from different countries. I have you, and there's one from El Salvador, and
And
then one
Italy.
from Italy, all with a very similar mindset to yours. Very conservative, and when I say conservative, I don't mean that politically. I mean that in terms of personal responsibility, a tremendous work ethic, very humble, very generous, very giving. There's this common thread that
Yeah.
that runs. So you would think, from my perspective, you have somebody who comes from a different country. I'm going to come to America and I'm going to make as much money as possible, and that's perfectly fine. But your first move was to serve. Now I know it took you, had to work,
Took me a while.
odd jobs, driving a cab, doing those things, but you went to work for the New York City Police Department. That's serving.
Yeah.
But the ultimate goal was to make it
Into the
into the
military.
military.
Yes.
How long did that take you?
About 10 years
10 years.
because of lack of English. And also at that time, I had a green card. So with the green card, you had to score a little bit higher than a person with a U.S. passport. And for me, it was a challenging. And also, I graduated school very long time ago. And we use like metric system stuff like that over
Right.
there. And
Right.
here is like my father always tells me like, why they use miles, why they use Fahrenheit, like stuff like that, like
Right.
because
Yeah.
we use Celsius stuff and
Sure.
always and because all those things. And also you've been in military too, and ASVAB, they have like paragraph in the ASVAB. When it comes, you have to read, and you have to like separate context, like what's it meaning. Those
Right.
things were really challenging for me. It's not only you can say like, hey, hello, how are you, my name is so and so. You have to
Right.
go more deep.
Comprehension. Yeah.
Comprehension, yes. And that was challenging. So every time I failed, of course I was like a little upset, but I was just keep going and distracting myself, because it's gonna be your best friend, distraction, every time, because you don't wanna sit in one place, like, because I saw you actually, funny thing I wanna say, there is a poet, I don't remember his name, but him. So one of his quotes, he says, you don't drown by the lake, you drown because you're staying submerged in it,
Mm.
because it's you
Yeah. Yeah.
choose to stay. Something his name,
Yeah. I
but
know what you. Yeah. I know what you're
but
talking
I
about.
saw
Yeah.
you quoted a couple of other his quotes, and this is mindset. Like, if you just sit down, like, and think, oh, okay, that's it, it's not gonna happen. No, you're wrong. Your first thing gonna be the distraction. You need to get out, because you're on a track, and if you hit the wall, you need to go around. So you can't just stand there and wait until wall collapse
Right.
or something like
Right.
that. So that was my key thing, like, to distract every time. Even now, I use it all the time. If anything comes that I cannot do at that moment, I need to distract myself and find out. Like in the army, we had great saying like, uh, find a way or make one, stuff
Mm.
like that.
Right.
So
So just some perspective too. So when we talk about, we think in terms of passing the ASVAB, or passing a test and reading comprehension and those kinds of things. A lot of people don't really appreciate the challenge that would have been for somebody like you coming over. And before you form assumptions, sometimes there's assumptions. How many?
yeah,
Tell us how many languages you speak.
and fluent, including English. So I'll say English, Tajik, Uzbek, and Russian. So it's four. But at the same time, I understand, not to speak, understand Ukrainian, Iran, Afghanistan. Afghanistan splits into it's Pashto and Dari. So Dari is more like to Farsi. So Farsi speaks actually, I think, three countries: Tajikistan, Iran, and Afghanistan. And also like understanding is Ukrainian, like a little bit Turkey, very small, but they all
Right.
kind of stuff.
So
Yeah.
that shows you how challenging it is, and sometimes, and again, we see this all the time about how people make fun of the English language, how we have three words that are spelled exactly the same way, but they have three different meanings.
Yeah.
So it's from coming from other countries, it's like you're scratching your head.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with this? Yeah, I have to learn this strange new language that
Yes.
doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So I get it. So once you're in the military, it was military police. Was that is that where you ended up? What was your primary
Oh,
job?
MOS. My MOS
Yes.
was 11 Bravo, which is infantry.
I got you.
So when I entered, and I told you before, I was already 32 years old.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's another challenging was coming. Like, I have to start with the younger generation, and some of their parents were like almost my age, maybe a little older. If you think like 36, 37, stuff
Right.
that. And for me, it was kind of also learning. Like I told you before, it's always learning from everything. There is another good example. I know you talk about leadership a lot, and to sometimes to be a leader, you have to know how to be a student too, because leadership is not always leading people. It's also like listening, learning, take away something, stuff like this. So I took it, and I was, and I said, great guys. Like most of people I start in the army, they usually come from either like poor family or real patriots, and some of them like military family, stuff like that. And the thing is, they wanna be there. There are few who comes for um, for the GI Bill, which we
Sure.
call for the
Right.
to get a student to go to the college after they finish, stuff like that. But most of them were like mostly motivated by the military. It's all about, mostly it's all about physical, because they wanna break you, then reshape you to
Right.
mold you from beginning and stuff like that. It's all mindset. And we had I don't know if you guys, you which branch you were in,
I was in the Navy.
Navy.
Yeah.
So in the Army and Marine Corps, we have, I think, we used to call it, they don't have it now, it's shark attack. So shark attack, like you sleeping, and they come like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and start waking you up with a lot of sirens and stuff like
Yeah.
that, like
Yeah.
go outside and stuff like it. So this is very mental challenging for a lot of people if you're younger, and a lot of them looks lost and scared, stuff like that. And but at some point it helps you. You have to pass that
Right.
every time, every challenge. You have to face it and pass, face and pass. You don't have to run back. So stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, it's nothing like, so for me it was like normal thing, because I maybe it's my age, or
Yeah.
maybe it's where I come from. For me it's a normal thing, and I was pretty confident. So they always scream at you, but they never touch you, stuff like that. And I think it was great thing, but they took it away. They call it now 100 yards or something like that,
Yeah.
and you just do some workout.
Yeah. Military's gotten a little bit
Softer,
softer
softer.
over the years. We'll leave it at that. So how many years? 4 years.
4 years,
4 years.
yes.
Tell us about your MMA
So MMA
career.
came. I don't call it
Not
career.
career. That's why I
Yeah,
kind of
it
threw
was
that out there
mostly
to see.
like uh, I'm gonna be a liar if I say something is career, but it
Sure.
wasn't career. So it was when I got here, I was fall in love with the grappling. So I start grappling. And after that, doing sparrings, ground and pounding, and I like it. And just start sparring a lot. And I fought in, it was in Queens, but I lost that. I lost that because the dude got my knee into the lock.
Yeah.
So it like kind of clicked. So
Yeah.
I lost that fight because of that. And but what I'm saying is, it was just great experience. And but sparring was a lot. And first time I broke my nose. The funny thing was, the half of it came to the side. It's like looks like a movie or something. It came to the side, but it was so warm, so I didn't feel any pain or anything. And I came to the coach. I'm like, "Hey, coach, can you fix it? Can you press it?" Like he saw it, and I don't know. Maybe here people don't wanna be involved for some reason. He's like, "No, no, no, this is too much. I cannot do." I'm like, "All right." I went to the bathroom. I look at the mirror and just press it, like, and press together. It came back. The next day, I had like black eyes, like
Oh, sure.
for
Yeah.
for a week or something. Uh, and after that, I broke two more times, but other two was like super easy. You break and it just bleeds, and you fine. You
Just
don't
gets
get
easier over
distracted.
time.
It's
Yeah.
very good. First time is
Right.
very hard. Um, and what else?
So arm wrestling, how did that happen?
Arm wrestling. I started from Tajikistan. I compete in Tajikistan, and here I compete in Queens also. That was a big apple grapple, they call it, and I have photos somewhere. So I got there first place, and too bad. The only thing I regret, I didn't go for two hands, so I go only right hand. So you can, if you're in arm wrestling, you can compete left and right hand too. So it was good. Like from arm wrestling, I we used to challenge ourselves a lot back in Tajikistan. And your what do you call this part? Like it used to hurt a lot, and we used to put our coach used to put electric something. It
Mm-hmm.
just the electric hits you and massage you. Your hands start moving by
Mm-hmm.
itself. You don't
Yeah.
control it. Uh, but it was a good thing. It was passion at that moment. I had such a passion to arm wrestling, but I knew arm wrestling is not good sport to do career
Yeah.
because there is not a lot of money or something
Yeah, I
like that.
wouldn't imagine. Yeah.
It could be only a
Yeah.
hobby and just if you like it, yeah, you can go and compete stuff like that. Um, well, so I did powerlifting too, and our coach was Tole. He's actually a world champion, a world record. Tole Nazarov. He's still back in Tajikistan, and yeah, he was teaching us, and I did powerlifting competition back in Tajikistan, and I was in Taekwondo too. By the way, when you mentioned it,
Mm-hmm.
from 9 to 12, and my mom was the first person who took from took my hand, and my brother's like, "You guys gotta go to Taekwondo because you guys not doing anything at home. You just wasting your time.
Yeah.
So instead of that, go do something useful." So from there, we started Taekwondo, and I fall in love. Uh, I compete in Taekwondo too, and boxing, kickboxing. Like you, I tried a lot of martial arts. Uh, I'm not gonna say I did great on them, but I took a lot from each of it.
Well, I think
Like,
it falls in line with the daily discipline that
yeah,
because I watch you. You know, when you train, you come in, you train hard every day. It's just
mm,
it's a part of your life. This is part of every day is exercising, taking care of yourself, pushing yourself to the limit, those kinds of things. Um, you know, you look back over this journey from 2007 to now, um, and I say this because, and I think this is the one of the messages I wanted to put out today is especially in this time that we're at in history, and look, it comes around every 4 years, right?
yeah,
Every 4 years we're electing a new president, or whatever the case may be, and again, everything seems to get more tense. Everybody seems to get a little more stressed. Everybody seems to get more divided.
hmm
People seem to be a little more grumpy and
aggressive.
aggressive, those kinds of things. And I think that's one of the big things we've been trying to really get through here is, and we said this a couple of times, it's a 24-hour a day job to take care of me, to focus on
And me.
me being the kind of person that I know I need to be and keeping myself in check. I think, and I'm going to try, see if I can say this. I posted something from Nick Saban the other day, and he said that daily discipline, there are these things that you see that you shouldn't do, but you really want to do. And it's that level of maturity and that level of discipline to stop yourself.
Yes.
And then there's the things that you really need to do, but you don't want to do them, but you do them anyway. If you can if you can accomplish both of those,
Both of
stay away from the things that you shouldn't do, and do the things that you don't want to do, but you know that benefit you long
them.
term, you've won. You win on a
Yeah.
daily basis. But it's trying to get from this small reach that we have, of trying to keep pumping that mindset of waking up, and you touched on it, and I want you to touch on that again, of waking up every day with that before your feet hit the ground. It's that attitude of gratitude, and the fact that, and I said this, I think is one of the first more recent podcasts we've done, is that we come across 100 people a day,
Mm.
and typically we can very quickly identify the things that we are the differences in each other. But it takes a little time and a little effort to find out the things that we have in common. And if we'll take that time, we'll find out we have a lot more in common than we do different.
Yes.
There's no doubt in my mind you and I have differences in the way we see the world,
Yes.
the way we see a lot of different
A lot
things.
of
But
different things.
if you listen, it's like we're approaching it from two different standpoints, but we wake up with the same attitude. So tell me about when you wake up in the morning.
So, like I said before, first thing when I wake up, it's automatically I I always be grateful to the God that I just wake up, and I also say verses from Quran. So it's basically meaning thank you God, like I'm alive, my feet are working, my legs, my hands, my eyes see, my ears hear, so stuff like that, and I'm very grateful for that. And this is like every single morning, and it's basically same thing before you go into the bed too, because you have to you have to talk to him, you have to talk to God and tell him like thank you for the day, and please save me until to the next day, stuff like that, because you have to uh, it's not about religion what I'm saying, but to you have to believe in something to motivate also yourself to keep going, because it helps you. If you don't have goals, any kind of goals, you you have no meaning, like you just standing there, like you're not doing anything, any small thing, like even for the tomorrow, right? I gotta go to school, this is already goal, I gotta do my homework, because you already have plans, because you know what you need to do. But if you don't have absolutely nothing to do, it's very scary. Like there was time right after military, I had really difficult time to adjust myself to civilian life, and because maybe because I just got back from Iraq, and usually when you come back, you have time to adjust to this civilian life, stuff like that. But my contract was coming to the end, and the SFL tab we do, which is Soldiers for Life thing. It's just a program they do to sign you out, kind of. All right, you free now. We teach you how to do this, and stuff like that. And that thing was like for me, all these things were super fast forwarded, and for me it was kind of shocking. Like, oh shit, I was like last month or like couple months, I was like somewhere in the other side of the world in the Middle East, 135-degree hot
Right.
and stuff, and things were going on, and now here stuff. And for me, it was kind of hard to digest in the beginning, very hard, and and there was time I was just being home doing absolutely nothing, and I was getting bored of getting bored. Like it's crazy, and a lot of things start coming in your mind, and this is where it comes when I told you distraction. You need to distract yourself. First thing when I did, I was looking for the gym. It's the first thing was my thing. Gym, I googled it. I see there's Wolf Gym right next to me. There's Move Fitness, stuff like that, and I start seeing the photos, and I see a Wolf Gym. I'm like, this is men's gym. Like
Yeah.
I like gym stuff like that, because it
Right.
you don't have too many like fancy stuff, like stuff like that. I don't like it. I like real stuff. So I went to the Wolf Gym. I got the uh, my year up front, and even like from front desk starting, people are great, and I met a lot of veterans at the gym,
Yeah, there are a
and
lot.
yeah, a lot of them, and I start communicating people because if you know, I moved here. I used to be in New York City. I'm kind of new here, so for me, start making friends and meeting people and communicate with people and veterans. They are a lot. They help me a lot to guide me from everything, like for showing locations, what to do, where to go. Like one of my uh, peaceful place I usually go is maybe you know it. It's a Gibson Pond Park.
Right, right.
This is my favorite place. I usually go every morning where nobody's there and it's kind of cool down. And you just sit down and it's water and green. It's my savior. Like this is what I like. That's why I told you when I got here. Like your house is so far away from a lot of communications, like people around. And this is what I like. Like you far away and you're doing your own thing. I'm kind of like you. I like being with myself, and there's a time like you need to sit down, think about stuff. Like okay, what needs to be done, what needs to be done next, stuff like that.
I like. I was just thinking about your. I think it took me a minute to process the distraction comment that you've made a
Mm.
couple of times, and I think it really lends to what we're talking about with the political climate that we're in America right now, all of fighting, all of the disagreement, these kinds
Yeah.
of things. Um, and I've said this for the longest time. We go through, you know, 7 days a week, and all 7 of those days, I can look back over the 7 days and just think about all the conversations, all of the criticism, all of the frustration, all of the stress, all of the talking. And if you add all of those hours up of all the talking and complaining and
Yeah.
what ifs and this shouldn't be and those kinds of things, literally it is a 100% complete waste of time because you're
Absolutely.
changing absolutely
Absolutely.
nothing with
I
your
I agree
opinion.
with you.
You change at the ballot box. You go vote. That's why we live in the country we live in. You have a voice. It's called the ballot box.
Yes.
You vote. But the ability to escape all of this external confusion, frustration, these triggers that we experience on a daily basis and distract ourselves with things. And this is where I'm going back
With
to
useful
your,
things.
yes, yes, that's where I'm going back to your version of distraction. Distract ourselves with things that serve us moving forward. They either
Absolutely.
serve me physically, they serve me intellectually, they
Mm.
serve me spiritually. They help me become a better version of
Yes.
me so I can be better for the people around me. And if we could just somehow get enough people to start focusing on that,
On that.
eliminate these distractions and replace them with distractions that not only serve me personally, but serve my family, that
Yeah.
serve my community, that serve my nation.
Yes.
Because I can't serve my nation by doing
By
this.
doing this.
Right.
Exactly.
I serve my
Like
nation
this.
by being a better citizen, by being a better husband, a better father, a better
Yes.
worker, a better, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And I think, and I honestly mean this. I think
Mm.
you're a great example of that. And I don't want to. I never want the perception of this, of what we're doing here, as because we have there are podcasts out there, and it's just one multimillionaire after another. Come look at my
Mm.
cars, look at my houses, look at my success. Let's talk about success, success, success. Have nothing against success.
Yeah.
But
Nothing.
success starts with me first. It starts with how I interact with others. It starts with how I relate to my family, relate to my coworkers. Relate. It starts with me, and then the financial success will follow if I lay a good foundation of this stuff that we're
Exactly.
talking about first. And you just do such a natural job at that. So
Yeah.
when you're in a room, you you're a positive light wherever you go. And those are the people that I want to highlight and celebrate those types of people.
Another thing I want to add, like about focusing on yourself, it might be somewhere. I always say a selfishness, but in a good way, because you kind of think about yourself to getting better. But there is a bright side of it. If you're gonna be successful, if you're gonna be uh, a rich or anything like famous, all these things will affect your family. Like they gonna, you will take care of. It's all about us. It's all about that. Like you take care of your kid, family, father, mother, and friends and family around you. This is the goal, because this is why you need to. There are times you need to focus on yourself, because it is kind of sacrifice too, like taking a time for yourself and not sharing maybe with the kid. You say, okay, I will spend time with him or with her another time. Right now, I need to do this. So this is kind of sacrifice. It might hurt. Uh, it's not permanent. Maybe at that moment, some of your loved ones, but not in a bad way. Like it's kind of, oh, okay, kind of sadness, but it will take you one step closer to to be a better person. But when you succeed, your around will succeed. You will take care of them. This is a kind of thing, and this is my mindset. Like there are times like I'm very cold and stuff like that. I'm more focused on something I need to do, and I know it might hurt some people. Like in a when I say hurt, it's kind of
Yeah,
my English, but
sure.
vocabulary. But when I said hurt, means like kind of make them a little sad or stuff like that, or they might under, misunderstand my intentions. But in the long run, they always see like, oh, okay, this is why it was, or stuff like that.
Right.
Because and another thing to add with this is patience. Patience is basically key to many things, to a lot of things, and you have to be calm, like Bruce Lee said. My friend, be like a water, like this.
Right. Right.
You can take all these things. I sometimes like listen or read or see some of the great like athletes, sports guys, or any success person, and I might don't take whole the book they wrote or podcast they said, but
Mhm.
I will take what I need to, and what I really
Right.
useful for
Just
me.
extract what
Yeah,
you need to extract.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's that common thread that we see, and we've seen this forever. And that's exactly what I said in the beginning. Your toughest guys, I'm specifically talking about guys because we're the ones with testosterone and
Boils, boils.
big trucks, big guns, big this, everything's just your toughest guys are not the loudest guys. You know, your toughest guys are going to be the ones that are calm. They're going to be calm under pressure. They're going to be very patient. They're going to be very calculating. And going back to what you were just saying, there's a saying, and this can be misinterpreted. So I'll put it in context. But the saying is, "The king eats first." And that got real popular probably about 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Mm,
And what was meant by that is if you're responsible. So if you're, let's just say I have a family that I'm responsible
mm-hmm.
for. They depend on me for livelihood. They depend on me for multiple things. If I don't take care of myself, if I don't
There you
take
go.
care of
Thank
myself
you.
physically, if I don't take care of myself mentally, emotionally, psychologically, those kinds of things, that I'm not going to be able to serve them and take care of them. So
Thank
when
you.
it hits the fan, they're looking to this person that they're for safety, for whatever they're looking. And I'm because I've taken that role of no, I don't need, and I drive myself deeper and deeper and deeper into a hole until now everybody around me suffers because I didn't do the things I needed to
Mm,
do. And make no mistake, so and I have no problem saying this. It's not just the king eats first; it's the queen eats first too. So
true.
whoever's
It doesn't
responsible
matter.
for
Yes.
people, yeah, you take
Yes.
care of
It
yourself.
doesn't
You
matter.
have to. You have to.
Yeah.
It's very
Thank you. Yeah.
important.
You nailed it. Like this is exactly what I meant, and you basically gave more like details on why, so people understand. Because sometimes my English can
Oh,
be like,
you do great. I mean, seriously, you're really good.
thank you.
Really good. So, and we'll kind of start wrapping it up a little bit, but what's next? So tell us, just personally, what are some short term, long term goals for you?
Uh, Short term would be probably get a better like and better on a health part, like in the gym and stuff like that. And the long term will be I I really like it here, and I wanna get my own house in the future, definitely, and probably uh, go for a better job that fits my skills, stuff like that, and or open my own gym for the mostly for the kids, so I can teach them martial arts. Uh, Funny thing, I will mention him. I know he's gonna see it. Thomas Power, you know him.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah,
I
he
probably
comes.
know if I saw
Yeah,
him.
he comes with his wife. Great guy. He's a Marine veteran. So he asked me actually one day. He also watches some of my videos. Like, yo, when my son gets older, I can I ask you to teach him some wrestling? I told him, yeah, I will be more than happy to teach him. And another funny story when I saw your first podcast, it was with you and Claudia.
Hmm.
I came up to Thomas like, yo, Chris and Claudia, they just starting a podcast and stuff like that. So my point is, you right now take your phone and subscribe to their channel. And I did some funny swearing military word, and
Uh,
he was laughing. He's like, I already did. I know. I'm like, okay, I just want to make sure
right,
you support these people. You
right,
can ask me. I think you know him if you see him.
right.
And yeah, definitely a lot of big plans, but like mostly I want to talk about them when it's done,
Mm,
because there is saying, if you want to make God love, tell him people about your plans or stuff like that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing,
yeah,
but I would more prefer after things are done,
right,
so I can mostly like confidently say, okay, yeah,
yeah. Work in
and
silence.
work
Yeah,
in silence.
right.
Yeah,
So here's one thing
definitely.
you get to look forward to. So this I haven't said anything to you about this. And we'll end with this. So what happens as we get older? So I remember when I was younger, there was a time in Southern California. My martial arts instructor had fought his way through Georgia Tech, put his way through Georgia
Okay.
Tech by kickboxing. So he was a professional kickboxer, and that's how he paid for college was kickboxing. So he was more of a fighter than a traditional sensei.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a very formal dojo. It was more of
Yeah.
a fighting dojo. So we had a team. There were a team of about 6 or 7 of us that he chose, and he said, we're going to go fight. Yeah, and so I remember one guy. He was his name was Kevin Rankin. He was probably one of the most talented guys. He's one of those guys you look at and just beautiful.
Mm.
He looks like he could be in the movies, right? And as a matter of fact, he ended up being in a couple of movies
Oh,
because we were in
okay.
California. But then one weekend he said, "We're going to Torrance, California,
Okay.
and we're going to fight this weekend." That's all we knew. We were going to fight. We figured kickboxing, whatever. And so when we get there, it's very dark. It was this dark. It wasn't a club. It was
Yeah.
more like a recreation center, but it was just very dark and a little intimidating. I look over, and I don't know the guy's name, but if you've seen any movie with Muay Thai, he has a black goatee. He's been in almost every Muay Thai movie as a fighter, Bloodsport. You'd know him if you saw him. He's in the corner, and one of his fighters is fighting. So he's a trainer as well. So that was kind of cool,
Talking about
And
the Asian looking guy.
he looks kind of Hispanic,
Spanish.
dark hair. I'll have to point him out to you.
Yeah. Okay.
But we realized very quickly that this was a Muay Thai tournament.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
the six or
yeah.
seven of us, we're kind of freaking out. We're like,
Like, what's going on?
whoa, this, and we're watching, going, this is brutal. We're gonna get killed, you know. And so we go to the our instructor. He said, "You'll be fine." Yeah, he said, "It's just experience. You'll learn." Yeah, but whatever. It took me. I think I was in the ring maybe 20 seconds. The guy kicked me in my thigh. I was on the ground. I couldn't move. It was just the worst thing ever because we didn't train that way. So I say that by saying, as you get older, you kind of get softer, right? You get soft. You don't punch anymore. You don't kick anymore. You don't grapple anymore. You
Yeah.
don't do those things. So I'm getting ready for a bodybuilding show. It's 8 weeks
Okay.
away,
Good
right?
luck.
So thank you.
We'll,
Thank you.
we'll
So as soon
watch
as I
it.
get through putting myself through this nonsense, so I want you and I want to work with you and just beat the crap out of me. I mean,
All right.
just let's spar, let's play. I need to get hit again, punched again, kicked again, and
I would love to.
yeah, I think that'd
And
be
it's
really
not
cool.
only because like I know you and I like your like the work you're putting in. I just like to pass some experience
Yeah,
and absolutely 110% we'll do it.
yeah, it'd
We'll
be
do
fun.
it.
Yeah,
I still have my gloves and stuff like that. I have like some headgears. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
yeah.
Definitely.
I need to start working
Uh,
more on,
I,
lifting
I,
weights every day. Yeah.
yeah, I will bug you about this once you're done
No,
with your
I'm
things.
I'm in. I'm in. So
Okay.
I'm saying it. So I'm
Awesome.
committing. That's what I'm going
Awesome.
in and just saying it to the world. Because look, lifting weights great. One of the best things you can do. Stay strong. But I'm getting to that point. I need to start being a little more athletic again. And stepping out of my comfort zone. So I
Yeah.
figure what's the best way to do that is to get punched in the head.
If you remember the first time we talked, uh, I brought up about being a universal.
Hmm.
I told you like there is nothing wrong like to be good at one thing
Right.
like you doing a bodybuilding, but I didn't know that you also did a martial arts stuff like that. So you have muscle memory, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. And so that's another thing. Like you said, yeah, bodybuilding, it's great. You're strong. You're physically very strong. So it will play on your advantage. The only thing is like you just need to straight up get your stamina workout because
Yeah.
it's a lot of
Oh, I'm
cardio
gonna
thing.
die.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
cardio thing. Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna run. The Lake Murray, 3.2 mile.
And I didn't say anything about running, man.
No, that's
See,
part of
I
it.
said sparring. See
No,
now. See, I don't.
that's
This has
because
gone too far already.
listen,
No.
listen. Just the sparring. If you don't get work on your stamina, just the sparring,
Yeah,
1 minute
no.
you will get tired.
Yeah, I know.
Another funny thing, I don't know if I just want to ask you this one too, like how it looks from the side. Like, for example, I saw many times that you mentioned about the heavy bag upstairs. Like you see some people just go there and just play around with
Sure,
it,
sure.
don't do anything.
It was a great workout. Yeah.
I can't watch it. I have to approach. So I go and but respectfully I say
Sure,
like,
sure.
hey, I see you doing this. I like it. Do you mind if I like? I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
like some podcasts you approach the same way. Like
Yeah.
I tell them, like, do you mind if I say something or
Yeah.
point at some thing? And most of the people they'll be sure.
Yeah, of course.
And I like to show them the and they will appreciate it. They will most of them appreciate it. And I just show them. I'm like, yeah, just keep working on this. And I always show them the very basics, like maybe movements, maybe even mentally too. Like when you hit the bag, not a lot of people know you don't aim the bag. You aim the what's behind the bag.
Right.
Because if you just aim the bag, your punch gonna be very soft.
Right.
And another thing I always point, when you punch with these two knuckles, not this. These are very easy to break.
Mhm.
They just come out. So that's why you need to get used to punch with two forward knuckles and stuff like that. And for the funny thing, other day there was two guys. They're training and on a bag in front of the bag, and I know I need to do my cardio thing on the bag, and ask them like, hey guys, do you mind like for 5-10 minutes? I will use the bag. They're like, yeah, no problem. As soon as usually I take out my sneakers because I like to work with my legs too, and it's better when you kick it. And the guy who was teaching the other guy, he was also in martial arts, and he came up to me, yo, I know. As soon as you take out your shoes, I said like, this guy is old school. He knows what is he doing. Like, and there's another thing when people see, they also approach, and I always like would love to help him if I can.
Yeah, most people in the gym are really receptive to, as long as you approach them the right way.
I
think with your personality, they're always going to be receptive.
Right. That's why I was asking, how does it look like? Because if it was back in Tajikistan, that's totally normal things.
Sure,
I know here is kind of like my father said, when you go to one-eye city, become a one-eye guy. That means like you respect the rules and regulations of that city, of that village, of that house, whatever case may be. That's another thing. That's why like I'm very careful. Sometimes I doubt, should I not? This is not my business or something like that. But I know people doing something wrong, and I'm not saying I'm the best guy to explain. But when I see something exactly wrong, I just try to correct at some point and tell them.
It's all in the approach, and I'll tell you, people with your personality, other people are always going to be receptive to you offering help. Well, Anvar, this has been really fun.
Okay.
Now I've kind of locked myself into more than I bargained for. I guess now I have to run, which
you will. No. Hey, if
come on,
you open. I didn't even mention. I didn't even know that you really want to.
Yeah, no.
We will.
That's all right. Okay,
we will.
now I get to run.
Ellen,
fine.
You're an eyewitness.
Guys, as always, thank you for tuning in. If I could just encourage, these conversations are always so enlightening. We learn something every time we have a conversation. Different backgrounds, different points of view, different worldviews, but it still boils down to that common thread of just trying our best to buck this trend of selfishness and frustration and stress and this theme that we see, and just try to be a light to the world. Try to wake up with this attitude of gratitude every day, because I promise you, just gratitude alone, if you can focus on being intentional about being grateful about what you have, and setting goals and start working toward those goals, man, it's amazing just how much the stress seems to decrease and life just starts to get a little bit easier. But we appreciate everybody for tuning in, for liking, subscribing. Do us a favor, if you get a chance, leave us some comments. That always helps us out. If you have any questions, suggestions for us, things you'd like for us to discuss, people you'd like to have on, feel free. Direct message me or just leave comments under the video.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, for the people who watches us, like, there is not much to do. Just take and click subscribe or like this video or comment any other video, doesn't matter, to help these people. These are great people, and we already made plans with Chris. I'm gonna be honored, Chris. So please support this family, this podcast, everything. Subscribe, like, and comment. Leave your comment, share. And thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, brother.
Sir.
Thank you. Alan, thank you so much.
See you next time, guys. Thank you so much.